Greetings, welcome to Self-Assessment Lesson 2, Problem 3. Okay, so they've given us a couple of polynomials here. One of them is a quadratic, the other one is a linear, and they've asked us to do some different evaluations with them, some function evaluations. So the first one is p of x minus r of x. So p of x is x squared plus 2x plus 3, and we're going to subtract from that r of x, which is x minus 5. Notice the use of parentheses to indicate which one was p of x and which one was r of x. That turns out to be really useful here because we need to negate r of x. So dropping the parentheses here, thinking about multiplying through by a positive 1 perhaps on p of x, and then multiplying through by a negative 1 on r of x, we see we get the following expression to simplify. In other words, you can think about this as being a negative 1 right here that you distributed over r of x. Okay, so let's go up and collect up like terms here, and we're going to get what? X squared plus 2x minus an x gets me a plus x, plus 3 plus 5 is going to give me an 8. Okay, so they asked us to box our answers, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'll put this little dash box around here just to make sure I did what they asked me to. Okay, next they want to know what p of 0 times r of 0 is. So p of 0 is going to be 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus 3. That's my first polynomial, that's p of 0, times my second polynomial, which is going to be 0 subtract 5. So there's my p and there's my r. Okay, so simplifying here, we see that this reduces in terms of p, that's just going to be a 3, and r is going to reduce to negative 5, and the product of those two is going to give me back a negative 15. Okay, let's go ahead and box that also because we were asked to box our answers. Okay, part C. So in part C, we've got p of negative 2 plus r of negative 2. Okay, so p of negative 2 is going to be negative 2 squared plus 2 times negative 2 plus 3. So that's my p function. Let's wrap that in parentheses. And then we're going to add to that r of negative 2, which is going to be negative 2 minus 5. Notice in the function evaluation, when I got rid of the letter, I put in the number into a set of parentheses. That's really an important thing to get used to doing. Why? Well, because negative 2 squared is very different from the opposite of 2 squared. In other words, this is not the same as this. Here, the base is 2. Here, the base is negative 2. So when I evaluate this, I'll get back a negative 4. When I evaluate this, I'll get back a positive 4. Keep that in mind. That's an important thing. All right, so let's clean this thing up. And so we're going to get what? 4 minus 4 plus 3 plus, let's see, we got negative 2 minus 5. That's going to give us a negative 7. All right, so negative 4 and a plus 4, that's going to go to 0. Plus 3 is going to give me 3. So this becomes 3 minus 7. So the whole thing reduces down to a negative 4. So my final glorious answer here is negative 4. Okay, part D, they're asking us to find r of 7 minus p of 7. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you use the right function. That's the r function, that's the p function. So r of 7 is going to be 7 minus 5. In other words, I'm going to substitute in a 7 for the x in the r of x function. And then I'm going to subtract from that p of 7, which is going to be 7 squared plus 2 times 7 plus 3. Okay, so 5 minus 7, let's see, last time I did that I got a 2. Subtract, let's see, let's do what's inside of here. This is going to be a 49 plus 14 plus 3. And if I add all of those values together, I'm going to get a 66. So this ends up being 2 minus 66. So the whole thing reduces down to a negative 64. And again, we will box our answer as asked. Okay, well, hopefully that all made sense, and we'll see you back here for the next self-assessment.